Hello and welcome to Loona Reads. I am Loona and today I'm gonna read you a subreddit r/prorevenge. So, this story is called Cancel My Leave, Say Goodbye to Your Promotion. Enjoy. I used to work in a disability shared accommodation agency. It's a job where you support 4 to 6 people with disabilities who share the accommodation. It's shift work, 2 clients per staff member during the day, 1 staff member on a sleepover at night. The rosters are 4-week rotating rosters. I was employed as a 0.75, meaning I work 75% of what is considered full-time, equating to 57 hours a fortnight. Working shift sucked, but the pay was good. I was working in a house I will call Sonap. Sonap had 4 residents and 7 workers. Each house had a house supervisor. They reported to the cluster manager, who managed 6 houses. Cluster managers reports to the CEO. By company policy, leave requests are first in best dressed, meaning you need to put your leave in early to ensure you get it. I was transferred to Sonap from a 6-client house due to my qualifications and situations I cannot legally disclose. I worked for the first year, got to know staff, clients, house supervisor, etc. There was an obvious click between 4 staff members. Each school holidays, 3 would apply for leave and 1 would call in sick with a medical certificate covering the same amount of time. They would always rotate who is sick to hide what they were up to. They were friends outside of work who would party together. After a year, the house supervisor fell sick. One of the clique members, Karen, was appointment acting supervisor and it went to hell. She tried reducing my hours and giving extra time to a friend. I pointed out that I'm contracted for 57 hours a fortnight, so I'm getting paid for 57 hours a fortnight. Her friends got extra shifts, were given the best shifts and were all around favored by Karen. In January I put in leave for March school holidays. Karen rejected on the grounds that others had already submitted leave. Her clique all applied for this time. I left this alone. In March I checked the leave calendar for the June school holidays. Each house had a leave calendar so management and staff can check whose scheduled leave is. It was empty. I submitted leave again and it was rejected. Karen said, "Sorry, you are too slow." Karen said that A, B, and C click already submit leave. The next day the leave calendar showed this. In May I checked Christmas leave calendar, put in my leave and sure enough got the same result. This annoyed me as I have a family that I wanted to take on holiday. I spoke to the cluster manager, also a part of the clique, who said there is nothing I can do. Note I had no leave taken in 2 years. January the following year, the clique was on holiday. We had a gastro outbreak across our facilities, so we were short-staffed. All available staff, including CEO, were covering shifts. I was rostered one with the CEO 1 shift. During the shift he said to me, "OP, you have a bit of leave accumulated. You should probably take some." Me, I put in 3 requests last year. All were rejected as others apparently already applied for those days. CEO, let's log in your leave now. Me, okay, how about 4 weeks over Christmas? I filled out the form, CEO signed it off. He filled out the leave calendar and put my application in Karen's pigeonhole. I was on sleepover that night, so I took my application, photocopied for myself, and replaced under the mountain of paperwork in her pigeonhole, knowing she wouldn't see it for a few months. In March I checked the leave calendar and noticed my Christmas leave disappeared, replaced with Karen A, B, and C. I didn't say anything as I had the leave form with CEO's signature. Fast forward October, original house supervisor passed away, acting supervisor was appointed permanent supervisor by the cluster manager with a mandatory 3 months probation. December comes around, first week of my leave, I get a call from Karen. "Where are you?" Me, "On leave." Karen, "I didn't approve any leave, get your to work now." I come in, Karen shows me outstanding, she didn't get an application form. Even if I submitted, she would reject it, as you should know by now that we always take 2 weeks in December, January. She wrote me up for insubordination. I worked that shift. When Karen left, I emailed the CEO filling him in on what happened. He called to a meeting me and Karen. CEO, what happened? Karen cutting me off. OP took it upon himself to approve leave. I wrote him up for skipping work. Me. Actually, I submit leave in January while you were away. Karen. No, you didn't. CEO. Yes, he did. I approved it and added it to the leave calendar. Karen. Oh, we already had 4 staff booked on leave. CEO. Show me the leave forms. Karen. I destroyed them? Me handing Karen my copy of my form signed by the CEO. CEO. OP is on leave. I'm going to stand up and investigate this situation. OP. My apologies, go home. I'm extending your leave by an extra week. I go home. I come in 4.5 weeks later to be told that Karen lost her promotion. She is still ice. CEO found out that Karen has been rejecting leave requests. She shredded my request without looking past the date. She deleted my leave from the calendar. The CEO told Karen that this borders on fraud. The CEO also separated the clique to different houses. He changed the leave policy to state that he must sign off leave requests in addition to house supervisor and cluster managers. He ensured that all staff had access to prime leave dates. Karen was fired 2 weeks later for failing audit requirements. To clarify why the CEO did grunt work, funding bodies stipulated that during the day, 1 staff was required for every 2 clients. We were short-staffed across the board. There was lots of jogging staff. All staff employed with the company not on leave were working in houses, including CEO, clusters, managers, administration. They were rostered on with qualified staff who took the lead. CEO had social worker qualifications, social work experience, but no support worker experience. It was an extreme situation that could see funding withdrawn. The reason why he extended my leave by a week is because this incident took place on Monday. CEO meeting took place on Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember exactly. As I worked Monday and got called in for a meeting, I wouldn't have gotten my 4 weeks. The next story is, my hangover stepmom gave away my PlayStation 4 while I was away in college. So I rent out her house while she was on her honeymoon with her newest husband. This one sounds wild. I've been reading lots of Reddit lately, especially entitled parents, but made a new account when I came across this page. I never thought I'd actually try to contribute something. Until now, Reddit has just been my guilty morning coffee read. So here it goes. I'm an only son. My mom died of ovarian cancer at only 55, 5 years ago. It broke my dad's heart. They had been together since college and were the same age, with my dad being a month older. I'm 22 and I'm about to graduate college with my degree in chemistry when the main events start to occur. I went to college on a full-ride scholarship. This is important later. My dad met my now stepmom when she was my mom's nurse at the hospital where she spent her final days. My stepmom Grace played all the right notes to gain my dad's trust. She was empathetic to him, nurturing, comforting after my mom passed. I was 17 and old enough to sense that she was just trying to weasel her way up into getting my dad's resources, but it was up to my dad if he wanted to be in a relationship with her. I was in my final year of public school and had just won a scholarship to attend college out of the country the following year. My dad mourned my mom for a year, and that whole time Grace would check in on him by phone every month or so, in my opinion to scope out the possibility of sinking her hooks on him. After a year passed, Grace took the gloves off and went hard after my dad. Grace was only 40 when she and my dad started seeing each other. I didn't like her, but at the same time my dad at least didn't seem so depressed anymore, so I tried to be less pessimistic about her and give her the benefit of the doubt. In my gut, I didn't trust her though. But we are Scandinavian, and at least in my family the son doesn't tell his father what to do or even offer any opinion. Grace is from Czech Republic, if you are wondering. My father was a very successful banker during his career and amassed quite a portfolio of wealth. I will spare you the details, but after 6 months of dating, Grace and my father are married. My dad never really got over my mom though, and he was getting weaker and weaker even though he was only 57. Since his health was fading, he called me to him and asked me point blank, "Boy, what do you need to set you up in this life?" I told him I don't need anything. I'm a man and can take care of myself, but what are you even talking about that? You are going to be around for decades yet. I did remind him that he had a living sisters with children, my aunts and cousins. I also reminded him that I had a full scholarship to college, so don't worry about giving me any cash. He was dead only a year later at 59. I of course have seen lots of Hollywood movies, so I considered the conspiracy theory that maybe my dad's nurse wife poisoned him and made him sign over all his money to her, but I really honestly don't think that's what happened. Other relatives didn't like Grace either, but they knew my dad was totally in love with my mom and that her death utterly broke him. Well, long story short, my dad bequeathed his 5-bedroom house to me even though I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't ask for it. He gave a small endowment to each of his sisters and their children. He left about 80% of all his existing money to Grace, which amounted to several hundreds of thousands of dollars. My dad ignored me because he is generous to a fault and still gave me several tens of thousands of dollars, which were of course very useful to me. Grace tried to put on a friendly front, but I could tell she was angry as hell that she didn't get my dad's house too. That belonged to me, and I had the legal papers to prove it. She was especially mad because we live in an extremely upscale and trendy location, and houses are hard to come by and easily sold for a massive profit. During the first few months after my dad's death, I had the nauseating, creepy experience of knowing that Grace was trying to feel me out to see if I might be into a little relationship with her. Gross. She still stayed at the house though, because over the last 3 years she had gotten used to living there and acting like she owned it. And even though I officially owned it, I was always away at college and only visited my dad's old house once every couple of months, and even then it wasn't to see Grace, but to see my cousins who lived just a few miles away. I downplayed the fact that it was really my house, and over the months I think Grace gradually forgot that she really had no legal right to the house. She probably believed that sooner or later, because I never asked her for any of the hundreds of thousands of my dad's dollars that she now had, that I was somehow independently wealthy and would just give up my house to her. I knew I would eventually hydrogen bomb this when she started dating some new guy only 5 months after my dad was in the ground, and one time, when I came home from college after graduating, she and her new boyfriend, some sleazy-looking d-bag named Ivan, who was only a few years older than me, were acting like I was a guest in my own house and that they owned. I played along. Grace told me she gave away my PlayStation 4 to Ivan's cousin because I'm too old to play with video games. I don't even know this motherfucker, and you give him my PS4 to give away to some other who I also don't know? I quickly changed all my network password that same day. I smiled, but I knew what I had to do eventually. She also said that she and Ivan were getting married because I just can't mourn your father forever. I have to move on with my life. I tell her that I graduated college and already secured employment with a local firm and will soon find a new place to live. She looks thrilled, especially the part where it looks like I will soon have a new place to live. Then in a patronizing way she tells me, "You always have a place in our house though. You are welcome to stay whenever you please." Thanks Grace, really generous of you. What I really say is that I will probably have a new place in 3 months. She says that it's wonderful because she intends to go to her homeland to have a wedding with Ivan and afterwards have her honeymoon. She assures me it's a local affair, otherwise I would invite you, honey. And anyway, I know you are so busy. I congratulate her. She asks me if I can watch the house for her. Watch my own house? Sure. What I really say is, of course, I will take care of the house. I am careful not to say your house. She and her debug fiance, who I am 100% sure is only there for Grace's money, go on their trip, and I immediately put out advertisements in rental websites offering to lease my house. I hire movers and have all of Grace's furniture and possession boxed up and put into a storage rental facility. I retain all of my parents' furniture that they had before my dad made Grace. Locks changed. All of them. Within days, I am inundated with dozens of inquiries regarding my amazing, furnished house with a fantastic views. I rent it to a wonderful young family, a barrister and his schoolteacher wife and their two pretty children. They pay me their first and last month rent, and sign a lease for a year. I warn them about my crazy stepmom who thinks it's her house, but I present them with a contract information to my lawyer, the same lawyer my dad retained, in case they need any assurance that I'm on the level. I also give my lawyer the information about the storage facility, including the fact that I generously paid 4 months of storage in advance, which is a whole month longer than Grace's Czech honeymoon adventure. I then found a great apartment in the city near my new place of work. There I met a woman in a restaurant I frequent at night after a long work day. We have been dating 6 months now, and are engaged to be married. Grace of course tried to shriek and cause trouble when she realized she got kicked out of my house, but my lawyer quickly shut her mouth without me having to ever speak to her garbage face again. From what I hear, her and her trust husband left the country, and I assume they are blowing through my dad's money and will soon be broke like chefs usually become, where they taste a bit of what they think it's a good life. So maybe Grace will go and try to exploit some other lonely man into giving her his money. Speaking of money, the house that I rent out is generating so much money that I not only am able to have pay for my cousin's college, but I moved into a larger apartment on my own together with my fiancé. I love my job, but really, I could survive solely on renting my dad's old house. And to think, if Grace only had been cooler and nicer, I might have let her stay at the house just to be a good sport. And definitely if she scared the hell out of my room. But no, she had to act all proprietary, so I had to make her homeless as a wedding gift. Postscript. I bought another PS4, even though I didn't even use my old one that much. It didn't matter. It wasn't for Grace to give away. You don't give away other people's things. You give away your own things. Which is why I chose to kick Grace out of my house. Because it's mine and I decide who stays there. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.